What the fuck is up, everyone? Long time no see. Thank you again for tuning in. It means a lot as usual. So, I'm not going to be covering a true crime case in tonight's video. Instead, I'm going to do something very different. I'm going to be covering three urban legends that take place right here in Michigan. So, if you enjoy it, let me know. I'll probably do it again. We're going to just nosedive right into this thing because we have a lot to cover. And if you see me looking to the side, as usual, it's just me looking at my notes. So let's begin, okay? The first legend I have for you is called the Torch Lake Monster, which is really odd because I've never fucking heard of it before. So if you have and you have any stories that I don't have, obviously, please let me know because this one was really interesting to me. It caught my eye. I believe that every lake should have a legendary monster, especially ones that have a summer camp. And this one had a summer camp, and it was called, bear with me, Camp Hiawatha. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, my bad. I've never fucking heard of the place. But it was located on Torch Lake's northern edge. And apparently this terrifying tale has like traumatized and scared the shit out of people for generations, which is, again, very weird. I've never heard about it. So the origins of the beast are unknown, but the monster is described as a giant creature with one blue eye, one brown eye, and his body is covered in slimy green goo fixed with razor-sharp teeth, and he lives at the bottom of the lake and rises at night to terrorize residents and campers whenever they're not supposed to be on its territory. That is fucking creepy to me. Sounds like something from Scooby-Doo, though. Current legend does not date back very far, but the earliest report comes from a man named Dave Foley, who was a former counselor at the camp from 1967 to 1977. He said that he has always been terrified of the legend. He believes it to be true. He used to be a fisherman too, and he says that he's seen some extremely disturbing things in the lake growing up, but so have I. I mean, if you're familiar with Torch Lake, you know there's some eerie shit going on there. So, yeah. Um, and also, Torch Lake is unusually deep. It's like 285 feet to be exact. It's literally the deepest fucking inland lake in Michigan. It's also got the clearest, some of the clearest water in the entire world. But some early visitors used to speculate that it was a bottomless lake connected to Grand Traverse Bay by underwater tunnels. That's cool. Also, in those crystal clear lake depths, crystal clear depths, also lurk some extremely large fish. Okay, you know what? I already knew about that because the fish there are fucking massive. Those could be fucking legendary monsters within themselves because of how fucking huge they are. They used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. Just fishing and shit like that. But honestly, that's all I have for that one. There's really not much to go by. So, like I said, if anybody knows more, please let me know. So, on to our next case. Well, legend. I'm used to saying case, so legend. This one, a lot of you should know, if you're from Michigan especially, and it is the Dog Man of Michigan. Let me light up a smoke because there's a lot to cover on this one. Hope you all had a fucking fabulous Thanksgiving, by the way. Mine was dope. I made my first ever Thanksgiving dinner for me and my roommate, and I'm like still full. Alright, back on topic. According to Michigan folklore, the Michigan Dogman was allegedly witnessed all the way back in 1887 in Wexford County. The first reported encounter of the Dogman occurred that year when two lumberjacks saw a creature fitting the Dogman's description. Okay. But fast forward to 1937 in Paris, Michigan, a man named Robert Fortney was attacked by five wild dogs. He then claimed that one of them walked on two legs, also describing the creature. Now, if you're familiar with the Dogman, you'll know that the description, I mean, the main descriptions of this creature kind of remind me of Man Bear Pig from South Park. If you guys watch South Park, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so about 20 years after that report, in the late 50s, several more reports of a similar monster came out of Allegan County. I don't really know how to pronounce it. I know where it's at, but I just don't know how to pronounce it. And then later from Manistee County and Cross Village in 1967. Apparently, every 10 years, on a year that ends with a 7, is when this creature emerges and people like report seeing it all the time. But let's go to 1987, where sorry guys. In 1987, a radio disc jockey named Steve Cook recorded a fucking song about the creature, and it's reported sightings, and it's called a legend. I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it. If anybody knows how to look it up, or not look it up, if anybody knows how to find the song or has the song, send that shit to me. I want to hear it. Apparently, he wrote it as an April Fool's joke, though, or a prank, or whatever. And he based the song on several myths and legends from around the country. But what's interesting is that he claims that he had never even heard of the actual Dogman before he wrote the song and recorded it. Kind of fishy to me, honestly. I don't believe that. But I have a quote from him, and it says, "I made it up entirely from my own imagination as an April Fool's joke for the radio, and I found myself stumbling into a legend that goes all the way back to Native American times." Okay, now this is where I have a problem. If you never heard of it before, never once heard of it, how the fuck does your song, and from what I'm hearing about the song, it kind of describes it to a T, but, you know, I got all this information on Wikipedia, by the way, so, I mean, some of it could be edited, some of it could be wrong, I don't know, I'm just here to report. But I want to know what you guys think on the Dogman. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's a myth, a legend? I know that growing up, the Dogman in Michigan was like a huge fucking like tale to scare us kids with, you know, especially going out into the woods and shit like that. I mean, there's got to be some kind of like Bigfoot thing going on here with this whole fucker. I'm sorry, I'm a little stoned, so I'm not really speaking properly. Alright, so that's that about the Dogman. I'm actually thinking about doing an entire podcast episode about it. So just stay tuned for that. I'm gonna do more research on the Dogman after I get the podcast going. Alright, so this one is like obviously the last legend I'm gonna cover, but it's also the one that struck me as more interesting. I've heard of this before, especially because Detroit, they like really believe in this shit. And they even throw festivals, which I'll get into later on. But this one is called the Nine Rogue, which is otherwise known as the Demon of the Strait. Okay? It's a legendary creature of the Detroit area whose appearance is said to bring misfortune and chaos. I guess that's why the city is so fucked up, right? The origins date all the way back to Native American legend of an impish offspring of the stone god, but was made famous from the French settlement of Detroit and derived from Norman French tales of the Lutin, which is a type of hobgoblin, I guess. Alright, let's see what else we have here. According to various narratives surrounding the creature, one, Detroit's founder, Antoine de la Motte Cadillac, Caddy, was told by a fortune teller to appease the Nine Rogue, but when he encountered the creature, he actually smacked the shit out of it with his cane and he said, "Get the fuck out of my way, you red imp." But as a consequence, a string of bad luck befell upon him. Soon after, he was charged with abuse of power and reassigned back to Louisiana and later returning to France where he spent time in prison and then he lost all his fucking fortune. Which is unfortunate, in my opinion. You know, that's the thing. If you come across a mythological creature, don't fuck with it. Seriously, don't fuck with it. You know, I don't believe in like shit like that really, but if I were to come across, say, a leprechaun, I'm not gonna fuck with its gold. I've seen the movies. I know what that thing will do to me. You just don't fuck with shit you don't know about. Especially something like that. Like, run the fuck away, dude. So based on the legend from author Marie Caroline Watson Hamill, she describes the creature as a dwarf that was very red in the face with bright glistening eyes that would make someone freeze in their tracks when they encountered it. Sorry, I'm a little dyslexic right now. Sorry if anybody's dyslexic, I was just joking. Someone would freeze in their tracks when they encountered it. It also had a creepy, grinning mouthful of razor-sharp teeth. What the fuck is up with urban legends in Michigan with razor-sharp teeth? What's going on here, Michigan? I'm confused. One account of the legend I found interesting was on July 30th, 1763, during the Battle of the Blood Run. I wrote here, when 58 British soldiers were killed by the Native Americans from the Ottawa tribe. Supposedly, the creature appeared dancing around their corpses on the banks of what we now know as the Detroit River, which then turned the rivers bloody red for like several fucking days. I've heard of that actually. I heard about it in school. Um, but I never really was interested in till now. The Nine Rogue has become a huge and enduring part of the Detroit area. Each spring, Detroit even holds a costume community parade in the Midtown Cast Corridor hood of the town where they dress up and sort of they come together and they like chase this mythological entity out of the town. And at the end, they burn some kind of flammable construct of the Nine Rogue that symbolically banishes the evil spirit from the city for like a whole year. Wow, Detroit, you really do not play around, do you? Mm, so it also says in tradition to the parade, it's literally required that anyone who participated the year before, you must wear a different costume when returning the next year so that when the creature returns, he won't recognize anyone who chased his ass out of the city. All right. So anybody that I'm friends with or know from the Detroit area, please let me know if you believe in this because I've heard about it for years. I didn't know that much history on the legend until now, but I'm curious as to what um what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I guess it wasn't important, but I'm just curious as to what the traditions are for this parade and when the last time they had one. I know I could probably like have looked it up on the internet and YouTubed it, but I didn't want to. I kind of made this video in regards to these legends for people who are from Michigan watching this can maybe fill me in or inform me more on the backstories or if they have any encounters or family who warned them about these legends. I want to know. I'm very curious, especially about this little red fucker. Um, yeah. So that does it for my legend video.